Okay, so now here I've got this bucket of marbles. This is a picture of my bucket of marbles. There's 30 blue ones and 70 yellow ones in there. So that's the bucket, and there's all the marbles inside. Okay, got 100 marbles. Now, if I sort of look away or close my eyes and reach into that bucket and pull one out, and open my hand, what's the probability that it's blue? Well, it was totally random chance, so 30 out of the 100. Well, what's the probability that it's yellow? Okay, well, it was 70 out of 100 chance on that. What's the probability of getting two blues in a row? Okay, so I picked out the first blue. Oh, good. And now, am I going to get second blue? What's the chance of that? Okay, well, it kind of depends. It depends on whether I dropped that. At first, I had a blue marble in my hand. Did I drop it back into the bucket, or did I just drop it onto the floor? Because if I drop it back into the bucket, that's called with replacement, because I've replaced it into the bucket. Okay, if I dropped it back into the bucket, I got a 30 out of 100 on the first one. And then it's back in the bucket, so the bucket looks exactly like it did before I started. Okay, because now there's still 30 blue ones in there. I dropped that blue one right back in there. So when I go to do it again, and that's 900 out of 10,000, so that's 0.09. That's the probability of getting two blue ones in a row, as long as I drop it back into the bucket after the first one. What if I drop it onto the floor? If I drop it onto the floor, now there's only 29 blue ones and 70 yellow ones and only 99 marbles in the bucket. And the reason for that is because one of the blue ones is on the floor. Okay, so if I do it that way, I got my first one, that was okay. But then when I go to get my second one, I'm not going into this bucket anymore, I'm going into that bucket. So there's a 29 out of 99 on that one. Let's see, 30 times 29 is 870. And 100 times 99 is 9900. Then use my calculator to divide that out. 870 divided by 9900. 0.08787 repeating. Okay. And I made a big deal out of this, multiplying all this out. And then, as a last step, dividing. If I'd gone, well, that's about a 0.3, and that's about a 0.3, and then I multiplied my 0.3s together, I'd get 0.09. Because I'd have introduced all these rounding errors. And you won't be able to see the difference between your two answers if you have all these rounding errors building up. So instead of having rounding errors, I just multiply numerators, multiply denominators, and as a last step, divide it out. And it does come out slightly different. 0.087 is slightly different than 0.09. So this has less of a chance. Okay? And so you got to do them that way. Now, there's a couple of homework problems. When I'm putting the homework up, I'll explain it. But every once in a while, I'll say, what's the probability? And then I'll say, what's the probability of 3 in a row or 4 in a row? And it has to say with replacement or without replacement. With replacement, basically, it's same. If it said 3 instead of 2, I would just do 30 out of 100, 30 out of 100, 30 out of 100, multiply them all together. Okay, but if it's 2, or if it's without replacement, this is just 2. But if it's 3, I start the same, but then I do 1 less. And then I do 1 less again, because now there's 2 marbles on the floor. So it'd be 30 out of 100, 29 out of 99, 28 out of 98, 27 out of 97, and so on down the line for however many multiplications you need. You just have to keep going 1 less because more and more marbles end up on the floor. So that's how you do it. If it's more than just, two in a row, if it's three in a row, or four in a row, you just keep going one less, one less, one less, and one less until you get your four, your five, or whatever.